he's not black enough. African Americans forget that there are black people outside of America that have endured just as much marginalization, if not more. I realize that even though African Americans are black just like us, they are still American. They suffer from the American-centric ego that propels the perspective that America is the world.
Like most self-respecting people across the world, I harbor anti-America sentiments, and it is not without reason. Their destructive foreign policies, military invasions, and interference in the affairs of other sovereign states, including Kenya, my beloved country, top the list of reasons. On the surface, the fact that black Americans are in fact Americans makes them guilty by association, regardless of their perceived or imagined struggles in their country. Ransford James eloquently stated that black Americans suffer from an America-centric ego that propels the perspective that America is the world. Cultural imperialism is the main factor that contributes to the development of an America-centric ego among Americans, including black Americans. Cultural imperialism refers to the dominance of one culture over others through the dissemination and promotion of its cultural products, values, and beliefs. This can occur through various means, including media, entertainment, technology, military, and economic influence. Americanization is considered a form of cultural imperialism, where American cultural products, such as movies, music, fashion, and even political ideologies, are promoted globally, leading to their widespread adoption. In the case of black Americans, Americanization has both positive and negative implications. On one hand, it has contributed to the dissemination and recognition of black American art, literature, scientists, inventors, and cultural contributions, which have had a significant impact worldwide. Black American cultural exports, such as jazz, blues, and hip-hop, have influenced and inspired artists and individuals from diverse backgrounds globally. And of course, notable figures like the combative Malcolm X, who epitomize self-respect better than the pacifist Martin Luther King Jr.
One of the first things that the independent African nations did was to form an organization called the Organization of African Unity. The purpose of our organization of Afro-American Unity, which has the same aim and objective, to fight whoever gets in our way. To bring about the complete independence of people of African descent here in the Western Hemisphere, and first here in the United States, and bring about the freedom of these people by any means necessary. That's our motto.
Malcolm's by any means necessary speech resonates to date with all those whose people were enslaved or whose lands were stolen and colonized.
The Organization of Afro-American Unity shall include all people of African descent in the Western Hemisphere. In essence, what it is saying, instead of you and me running around here seeking allies in our struggle for freedom, in the Irish neighborhood or the Jewish neighborhood or the Italian neighborhood, we need to seek some allies among people who look something like we do. And once we get their allies, it's time out for you and me to stop running away from the wolf right into the arms of the fox, looking for some kind of help.
Unfortunately, Americanization has been co-opted into black American victimhood hegemony, where the black American lived experience in America is elevated above other black experiences worldwide. Black Americans are the self-proclaimed undisputed champions of oppression Olympics, otherwise called Victim Olympics. Incited by white American liberals and other nefarious individuals and interest groups exploiting racial issues for personal gain, that is, race grifters, some black Americans have turned the pursuit of justice into a competition for who has suffered the most oppression, in a futile attempt to overshadow the lived experiences of Native Americans, Africans, Afro-Latinos, Afro-Caribbeans, Jews, Arabs, and Asians. They forget that there are both black and non-black people inside and outside America who have endured just as much marginalization, if not more.
In this crooked game of power politics here in America, the Negro, namely the race problem, integration, civil rights issue, are all nothing but tools used by the whites who call themselves liberals against another group of whites who call themselves conservatives, either to get into power or to retain power. Among whites here in America, the political teams are no longer divided into Democrats and Republicans. The whites who are now struggling for control of the American political throne are divided into liberal and conservative camps. The white liberals from both parties cross party lines to work together toward the same goal, and white conservatives from both parties do likewise. The white liberal differs from the white conservative only in one way. The liberal is more deceitful, more hypocritical than the conservative. Both want power, but the white liberal is the one who has perfected the art of posing as the Negro's friend and benefactor. And by winning the friendship and support of the Negro, the white liberal is able to use the Negro as a pawn or a weapon in this political football game that is constantly raging between the white liberals and the white conservatives. The American Negro is nothing but a political football, and the white liberals control this ball through tricks or tokenism, false promises of integration and civil rights. In this game of deceiving and using the American Negro, the white liberals have complete cooperation of the Negro civil rights leader, who sell our people out for a few crumbs of token recognition, token gains, token progress.
Curiously, Native Americans, Africans, Afro-Latinos, Afro-Caribbeans, Jews, Arabs, and Asians are thriving within and without America, yet black Americans seem to be the only historically marginalized group that's stuck in victimhood mentality. Never mind, they gave us the great Malcolm X, a man who had clearly emancipated himself from mental slavery.
Now, I'm wondering if you didn't make a contradictory statement in Muslim terms by using white and friend in the same phrase. That is
I
to
use
say,
friend in quotes.
I see. In other words, if a black man cannot have a white man as a friend.
He may have a white man who's friendly, but being friendly and being a friend, I think, are two different things. I think there are many whites who act friendly toward Negroes. A fox acts friendly toward the lamb. And usually the fox is the one who ends up with the lamb chop on his plate. The wolf doesn't act friendly, and therefore the wolf has more difficulty in getting the lamb chop in his plate.
I'd like to point out, though, that...
And I say that because it is usually if you study the structure of the Negro community, economically, politically, civically, psychologically, and otherwise, it's controlled by the white liberal, who usually poses as the friend of the Negro, who actually differs from the white conservative in the same way that the fox differs from the wolf. Their appetite is the same. Their motives are the same. It's only their mannerisms and methods that differ.
I would agree that no doubt there have been a large number of whites who have posed as liberals and as friends of the Negro and who have time and again betrayed the Negro. On the other hand, I think one could point to a large number of whites who have struggled for civil rights, for equality, and have got little or nothing out of it, other than quite a few bruises.
Give me an example.
Well, the large number of white students who have gone into the South, for example, working for SNCC and other organizations.
Not working for SNCC or other organizations, but working for the white political machines who benefit by the voting efforts of Negroes.
Okay, I'll be more specific.
I'm suspicious of whites who join Negroes and always have to be in the lead, who always have to be the head, who always have to be at the top in Negro organizations. Those whites who really have the interest of blacks at heart, let them give some advice to some Negroes and stand on the sideline. But don't join the organization and then get at the head of it and pose as a friend of Negroes.
Well, I would defend his sincerity and his commitment. And more than that, I would say that just because a person is a Negro or a black American does not mean that he's going to struggle for Negro rights or for jobs for Negroes or anything else. I think that today you could point to a large number of Negro leaders who have consistently betrayed Negroes in a whole host of areas.
They aren't really Negro leaders. These are puppets that have been put in front of the Negro community by white liberals. These are parrots that have been put in front of the Negro community by white liberals. You can't name me a Negro leader who has been betrayed Negroes, who has not been endorsed, sanctioned, subsidized, and supported by the white liberals.